Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Esports Millionaires. I'm your host, Gracie Starr, and this week we'll be taking a look inside the world of variety streamer and ex-Counter-Strike player, Shroud.
Left to see the angle he does. Shroud out of bullets, goes for the pistol, goes for the shot, and Shroud!
You may have known the CSGO streamer previously under the name of Eclipse, but he was once one of the top contenders for his time in the pro scene. With an estimated living of $16.3 million, we're going to dive into Shroud's past to find out just how he managed to become one of the richest streamers in esports. Michael Zeshik, otherwise known as Shroud, hails from Toronto, Canada, practically grew up armed and ready for anything the world of PC gaming could throw at him. As a child, Shroud's time spent with friends didn't exactly consist of throwing the ball around out back. In a Twitch stream, he shares with us that since as early as the age of 5 to 13, he can remember always being surrounded by PCs. His dad was so obsessed with computers that his family had 5 PCs set up in the basement, so if Shroud ever wanted to have friends over, they could all have a gaming setup to use. Pretty awesome parenting if you ask me. In addition to the support he received from his parents, playing PC games consistently at such a young age really helped give Shroud an edge when it came to entering the competitive world of esports as a young adult. So it should be of no surprise that the instant Shroud had a chance to play competitively, he jumped right on it. CSGO came out back in 2012. Around the time of its release though, Shroud was more than ready to take on this new challenge. While the CSGO competitive scene was still foreign to the United States, Shroud began competing in the ESL tournaments as soon as possible, where he began racking in victories during late 2013 and early 2014. Securing these early wins helped boost his popularity in the streaming world immensely, as viewers began checking out his platform to learn more about his playstyle and to just support him in general. However, it would take about 3 years after the initial release of CSGO before the pro scene would come to North America, which meant another couple of years to practice before finally being scouted by Cloud9. As a small streamer who was once a big fish in a little pond, he found himself thrown into the deep end of esports as he would go from riding the bench to clutching victories. On August 1st, 2014, Cloud9 had obtained Complexity's rosters, which was one of the teams Shroud played for at the time. And as luck would have it, Shroud was then signed as a permanent member to the team. With Cloud9 starting up just 6 months prior to the merge of Complexity, it's safe to say that Shroud was one of the longest standing players of the organization. He finally got the play recognition he deserved, and for 3 whole straight years, he led his teammates to multiple victories, placing high at numerous other Counter-Strike tournaments up until 2017, winning an accumulative $668,000 in prize money. It was at this time, though, that Shroud was slowly being surpassed by new players on the team. But instead of being resentful for having the competitive spotlight taken from him, Shroud was more than happy to ride the bench for tournaments as he was looking to spice up his gaming career anyway. Instead of playing competitively, Shroud took to the content creation side of the esports world, shifting from competitive Cloud9 player to successful Cloud9 streamer. However, his retirement from pro play didn't just stop with CSGO. Shroud ultimately stepped away from the entire organization to pursue other creative opportunities that may await him in the world of streaming. With a booming Twitch profile, Shroud was considered to be one of the top streamers on the platform. Shroud continued to stream full-time on Twitch, where he had obtained more than 100,000 subscribers, surpassing Tim the Tatman, who at the time was one of the top streamers for the platform. However, just like Ninja, Shroud eventually left Twitch to pursue streaming on Microsoft's Mixer on October 24th of 2019. At first, it seemed like Twitch had all but seen the last of their top streamers as Microsoft's contracts were too good to be passed up by these guys. As luck would have it, Mixer ultimately got shut down. Less than a year after Shroud joined Mixer, it was supposed to have a merge between Facebook Gaming, where Shroud was even offered a hefty sum of money to sign a contract as an exclusive streamer for the upcoming platform. Shockingly enough though, Shroud declined the offer as he announces his big return to Twitch in the latter months of 2020, almost a year after he initially left for Mixer. Oh, but Shroud didn't leave Mixer empty-handed. Far from it. Since Shroud had chosen to opt out of transitioning to Facebook Gaming, he received the full payment at the end of his contract with Mixer, which meant Shroud would acquire roughly $10 million. With no current streaming platform at the moment, it only made sense that Shroud would make his way back to where he initially got started. Shroud's return to Twitch was met with open arms as his first stream back pulled in more than 50,000 average viewers. That was after almost a year of being away from the platform too. Since his first stream back on Twitch, Shroud has gained over 1 million new followers in the span of just 5 months. If this doesn't affirm just how influential he is among the top streamers of today, I don't know what does. He also hardly lost any of his followers in the year-long Twitch break he had when streaming on Mixer, and even gained more than 400,000 followers on his first stream back. As for subs, Shroud received over 2,000 subscriptions in one day within the last week. On December 9th, 2020, Shroud obtained 2,325 subscribers to his Twitch account. Currently, for the month of December, he's sitting at about 7,700 subscribers, where in the last 3 months, he had averaged about 12,000 subscribers per month, with 50,000 subs in August. So, what does all this mean when discussing a streamer's income? Let's just say he's reached the point where he could rent a private jet last minute just to make sure he got to a World of Warcraft raid in time. As we currently know, at the halfway point of 2020, Shroud was able to walk away from his Mixer contract and still receive the contract's entire payout. The amount was roughly $10 million, already more than doubling his 2019 net worth of $4 million. On top of that, from just streams alone, Shroud was probably making around $80,000. And then an extra $20,000 in subs, meaning his monthly income would be averaging about $100,000. So from just Twitch, Shroud probably pulls in about $1.2 million a year, give or take. And we haven't even looked into his YouTube channel yet. Averaging about 500,000 views per video, Shroud could make up to $400,000 to $500,000 a year, making his total yearly income between $1.6 and $1.7 million from streams and content alone. Being one of the most successful and richest players in the world of esports was definitely no easy task. Shroud worked his way up into professional gameplay and still managed his money and career well enough that when he wanted to step away from competitions, he had a platform available to perform for. Well, I think that's just about all the time we have for this week's episode of Esports Millionaires. As always, I'm your host, Gracie Starr, and we here at the Generation Esports hope you all enjoyed getting to look inside the world of Twitch streamer Shroud.
Left to see the angle he does. Shroud, out of bullets, goes for the pistol.